Hello everyone, this is a re-recording of the lesson that I have brought up in the Google Meet the other day for you to view. I would like to give a credit to my friend Madam Dayang Jauya Yunus and Miss Junaina Mukhtar from College Matrikulasi Labuan for preparing the slide and the notes in this video. The questions that I'm going to discuss in this lesson is on the food poisoning cases, Session 3 2019 questions. In this question, candidates are to focus on several key features in the questions, namely from figure 1, you have to talk about the three towns, tulips, rose and begonia, whereas for table 1, you are to focus on the measure. So when you mention the measure, for example, inspect food outlets, that would be one key feature that you will include in your writing. Not only that, candidates are to also focus on the time frame in the question. So in this question, apparently the information for 2018 was given in both figure 1 and table 1. So you can relate the synthesis of the question by referring to the same year. However, for figure 1, the time frame given is in January, April, July, and October. So candidates are to talk about the movement trend by referring to the 4 months. In this question, candidates are to also focus on what we call as subject reference, because when you make mistakes on the subject reference, chances of your analysis and synthesis are not being accepted. Okay, what is subject reference? You can actually refer to the rubrics of the question to get the subject reference. So in this case, number of food poisoning cases in several towns in 2018, the subject reference is referring to the number of food poisoning cases and preventative measures taken. As for figure 1, the main focus of the subject is the number of cases and the data. So as you mentioned, number of cases, for example, for tulip, you can mention 800, okay, 800 cases, by saying that the number of food poisoning cases in tulip was the highest at 800 cases in 2018. So that would be your focus. Whereas for the table, the influencing factors are the measures taken. So this is the subject reference. You can see that for tulip, there are 3 numbers of measures taken. For rose, there are 5, and for begonia, there are 2. Well, when you are referring to number, instead of mentioning measures taken, like for example, there were 3 measures taken, you have to be very careful to add in the word number, because that is what you are referring to instead of the measure. So if you just say there were 5 measures taken, okay, you are actually not making a correct one, because the word number is omitted. So be very careful when you mention the subject reference for table 1. If you are referring to the number of cases, the word number has to be mentioned clearly. So the number of measures taken is the correct subject reference. Okay. So the data for figure 2, table 1 would be the number of measures taken. Now, let's look into the title. You can actually got the title from the rubrics of the question as what I have highlighted for you. Okay, number of food poisoning cases in several towns and preventative measures taken in the same year. So candidates are to identify this as a title and rewrite it in your analysis, your report writing. So that should not be a problem. Okay, look at the word several times. For figure 1, if you want to do introduction, you will take it straight from the title of figure 1, isn't it? So in figure 1, the word several times were not mentioned. But we are advised to write down the introduction with the complete information as presented. Therefore, we have to include the word several times. Okay, even though it does not appear in the title, you have to include several times as well as the table. What does it show? Okay, the measures taken to prevent food poisoning. All right. Okay, then the overview of the question would be, generally, measures taken to prevent food poisoning affected number of food poisoning cases in 2018. Well, in this case, candidate must know what is the connection between, okay, what is the relationship between figure 1 and table 1. Okay, so the relationship that you can find between these two would be the same towns and the year. Okay, same town and the year. So candidate has to check what is the cause and what is the effect. Okay, there is a cause and effect. Of course, when it comes to cause and effect, we would examine, okay, do we get the number of food poisoning cases in 2018 first, or we take the measures to prevent food poisoning, only then we get the number of food poisoning cases? So the answer is definitely you will get the information from prevent, because measure taken to prevent. Of course, you take some measure to prevent, only you will get the result, isn't it? So the cause is the measure, whereas the effect would be the number of food poisoning cases. So this will be the relationship between figure 1 and table 1, which then we would have to write the overview. The word generally in overview is mandatory. Otherwise, you can use the word overall. Okay? Right. Other than using the word affected, candidates can also choose to use the word that means. Doesn't matter where is the direction, which one is the cause, which one is the effect. When you use the word corresponded to or correlated with, it can mean from both direction. Okay, so this one will be the safest phrase to write in case you are not sure which one is the cause and which one is the effect. Okay, candidates? So I'll move on to the next one. Now, all this time I've been telling you that analysis equals to key feature plus trend word plus data plus time frame. So my friend actually encouraged us to emphasize on the subject. Subject is the one that I mentioned to you, the number of cases and the number of measures taken. So when you are able to mention the subject correctly, plus the key feature, trend, data, and the time frame, and you are and it was written in past tense, you get the complete analysis. So that is how we aim for correct analysis. Yeah? Now, I would like to ask you several questions. Choose the correct statement, analysis and synthesis. So in this question, okay, choose the complete analysis. Yeah? In this sample of answer, okay, try to identify what is missing, or maybe you can try to correct it. Yeah? So this question, the word January is the time frame. And then the number of food poisoning cases is the subject reference. Okay, and tulip is the key feature, while okay, the highest is the trend word. So previously, you know that we must have A equals to S plus KF plus T, okay, in bracket data plus data plus time frame. So there should be 5 elements present. So if any of this is missing, that will not be a complete analysis. And apparently, what missing here is the data. So when there's no data, your answer will be, okay, this is what we call as analysis with little success, no data. So when you have more ALS, then you will get a band 4 and below. Okay, difficult to get band 5. So be very careful, make sure that you write them completely. Here's another one. In January, the number of food poisoning cases in Tulip was the highest. Okay, at 800. Now, we examine again. How about this one? Are we getting this answer correctly with the 5-element time frame? Okay, analysis equals to subject plus key feature plus time frame, plus trend word plus data plus time frame. So are the 5 elements present? If 5 elements are present, definitely this is the correct answer. Yeah, this is correct. Okay, now next. In January, the number of food poisoning cases in Tulip was 800. In January, okay, in January is the time frame. The number of food poisoning cases, okay, subject reference. In Tulip, key feature was 800 data. Now, what is missing? We only see 4 elements here. So analysis equals to TF plus SR, subject reference, plus key feature, plus data. So apparently, there is no trend word given. So when there is no trend word given, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be not even analysis with little success. No trend word means this is a description. Okay, so here it is, no trend word, description. So people, descriptions means you are getting a lower banner for task fulfillment. Next, how about this? The number of food poisoning in Begonia increased from the lowest 110 in January to its highest 750 in October. So which one, is this a complete analysis? Okay, we examine the number of food poisoning in Begonia. Okay, the number of food poisoning, something is missing right here. Okay, so when you have this as your answer, we call this as wrong subject reference. The reference is not correct. You are supposed to talk about the cases, but when the cases is omitted from the sentence, this is a wrong subject reference. Even though the key feature, the trend word, everything is present, okay, you will not be given any marks for that. The whole sentence here is it's inaccurate. Okay, so the whole sentence here is inaccurate because of the wrong subject reference. Okay, be very careful. So missing word, cases, inaccuracy. So the word in, okay, wrong subject reference leads to inaccuracy. Right? How about this? Number of food poisoning cases in Begonia increased from the lowest cases 110 in January to its highest cases 750 in October. So we are talking about the number of food poisoning cases, the subject reference. Okay, this time is correct with the word cases here. In Begonia, key feature, increased. Increase is the trend word. The lowest, trend word. Okay, lowest cases. Okay, in 110 in January time frame to its highest. That's trend word here. Okay, and the data 750 in October time frame. So everything is present. Okay, the subject reference is correct. Key feature is there. Trend word is given. But what is wrong with the sentence? I review the answer here. It is wrong because when you mention the lowest cases, it means a distortion. Distortion means the meaning has gone away. It is not what you are supposed to tell the candidate. The examiners. Yeah, you have already mentioned the number of food poisoning cases, right? So there is no need for you to mention cases again for another time in your writing, because the lowest cases, what does it supposed to mean? You are saying the lowest, but why is it in plural form, cases? Whereas the number of food poisoning cases was already mean it is the lowest or the highest. So this would be distortion. Distortion is similar to inaccuracy. So you are not making the analysis or synthesis correctly. Okay, take note. Okay, how about this one? Number of food poisoning cases in Begonia increased from the lowest in January, 810 in January, to its highest, 750 in October. So the subject reference is correct. Okay, key feature was presented. Trend word. Okay, trend word. January, the time frame. Oh, not forget the data. Okay, trend word, data, and time frame. So how about this? The difference between this answer with the previous answer is there's no more word like cases here. So is this correct? Let's check. Yes, this is the correct answer. Okay, so make sure you have the subject reference correct, key feature. Okay, there's one A here. The lowest, another trend word here, A, and then the highest, another A. So there are three A's in this sentence, and this is what we call as a good quality of analysis. Moving on, how about this? Rose had the most number of preventative measures 5 in 2018. So Rose is the key feature, the most number is the trend word, number of preventative measure. How about this? Is this a subject reference? Is it correct or not? And number 5 is the data. The time frame is 2018. Okay, so let's see. The answer for this one is inaccurate. Yeah? Why? Because when you mention the preventative measure, the number of preventative measures, you have omitted the word taken. So when there is no taken, the word taken there, the subject reference is wrong, because preventative measure, every country can have, every town can have preventative measure, but whether or not it is taken, that would be another story. Yeah, so you have to make sure you write the word taken together with the preventative measures. So this is how particular examiners are. So wrong subject reference, inaccuracy. Inaccurate. Moving on. Okay, how about this? The most, okay, in bracket 5, number of preventative measures, namely inspect food outlets, monitor wet markets, promote healthy lifestyle, impose fine on dirty premises, and train food handlers in 2018 was taken by Rose. So the most is the trend word, data is 5. The number of preventative measure, okay, don't get it wrong, the word taken is here. So this one is still a correct subject reference. Namely, okay, when you write, when you are presenting the key feature for table 1, you need to use the word namely. Avoid using the word like such as or for example, because this will lead to assumption. Okay, it's like you are not sure these are the preventative measures taken, but instead you say such as, so it is not correct. So do not use these words. Okay, Okay, namely inspect food outlets. So this is counted as one word because it's a verbatim. And when you use the inverted comma, okay, inverted comma, okay, we take this as a verbatim and we count it as one word. But in contrast, if you happen to use quotation mark like this, your answer is considered as okay, it's not wrong, but it is counted per word. Okay, counted per word. So make sure you write inverted comma, not okay, not quotation mark. Yeah, otherwise we will not count that as one word. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 5 here. So 5 words when you mention the key feature in such a way. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, this answer, okay, is correct. Yeah. All right. Continue. How about this? Roast had the most number of preventative measures in 2018. Roast, so this one is a key feature. The most number of preventative measures in 2018. How about this? Is it correct? I'm sure you have already gotten your answer. Yeah. The most number of preventative measure. Okay. Omission. Word. Okay. This one is considered as wrong subject reference because the word taken is omitted. Alright, no data some more. Okay, what is the number of preventative measure? Not given, so it's wrong. Okay, candidates, which one of these is of a better quality answer? Both of these are analysis. Okay, analysis answer. And both of these are actually analyzing the same key feature, which is roast, okay, on the number of preventative measures taken. So if you were to compare the green box and the yellow box, we would accept both answer, but the yellow box will earn a better marks because it has more information, okay, which it stated the key features, okay, inspect food outlets, monitor wet markets. It's more information compared to the first one. So if you ask yourself again, oh, which one of these would be the choice of answer, tell yourself this is the, okay, the yellow box is the better answer. Okay, now I'm moving on to writing a synthesis. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to let you have a close look on how do we write synthesis. Usually we will identify the same town, the same subject, and of the same year as possible, because the information given here is for 2018. And you notice that we do not mention 2018. Why? Because that is only about 1 year. Okay, whatever given here, we know that it's understood that it's 2018 information. It's just that for the figure 1 the analysis for figure 1, we have to state the month. That is your time frame. Okay, let's examine the number of food poisoning cases in Begonia. So this is what we call as, okay, subject reference. Okay, so it's correct subject reference. Begonia key feature, increase trend word, the lowest trend word, data in January, time frame to its highest, okay, trend word, data, and time frame. So everything is present there. In fact, we got one A for this, another A for lowest, and oh, sorry, my bad, another A for the highest. So 3 A's. Now, Begonia. So this one is from table 1. Okay, the least number of preventative measure 2 was taken by Begonia. The least number The least number is a trend word. Preventative measures was taken. So this one is a subject reference, correct? The data is 2, begonia is key feature. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, we are to combine this into a sentence in order for us to make a synthesis. Let's check how we do it. Number of food poisoning cases in begonia increased from the lowest, 110, increased from the lowest, 110, in January to its highest, 750 in October, because of the least number of preventative measure 2 was taken. Because of is the linking word. Okay, and we can be sure that this is what we call as a logical link. What do I mean by logical link? Logical link means when you have more preventative measures taken, the number of food poisoning cases is supposed to decrease. But if you have less preventative measures taken, your number of food poisoning cases will increase. So in this box, okay, the answer in this box, the number of food poisoning in begonia increased, okay, because there were least number of preventative measures taken. So it is a logical link there. Okay, the link is logical. Yeah. Okay, I'll show you some more examples. Okay, this is the information from figure 1. In January, the number of food poisoning cases in Tulip was the highest at 800. Okay, in January time frame, the number of food poisoning cases, subject reference, in Tulip was the highest. So this one is a trend word and data. Okay, everything is there. So we get one analysis for the trend word there, the highest. And then the second one is from table 1. Tulip took 3 preventative measures: monitoring wet markets, promoting healthy lifestyle, imposing fine on dirty premises, which were more number of measure than begonia. So more number of measure, it's a trend. Okay, so here are the example of sentences. In January, the number of food poisoning cases in Tulip was the highest at 800 because Tulip took 3 preventative measures. In bracket, monitoring wet markets, promoting healthy lifestyle, imposing fine on dirty premises. So the link that we can find here is the word because. Whereas in January, the number of food poisoning cases in Tulip was the highest at 800, although Tulip took 3 preventative measures: monitoring wet market, promoting healthy lifestyle, imposing fines on dirty premises, which were more number of measures taken than begonia. So which one is logical, which one is illogical? Okay, as I have mentioned just now, when you have more preventative measures taken to prevent food poisoning, of course, you'll be expecting the number of food poisoning cases to decrease. But in this sample, the pink sample, the candidate used the word because. So it shows a direct relationship, means the highest number at 800 was due to the more preventative measure taken, which is illogical. Okay, illogical link. Therefore, candidate has to choose, although the reverse relationship linker, okay, to show the logical link there. All right. Now, in this synthesis, many people ask, teacher, how many synthesis is considered as enough? All right. So you can actually check on the subject of the questions. So in this question, there are 3 subjects: the towns, okay, Tulip, Rose, Begonia. Okay, table 1 also shows the same town. And then you have to look at the time as well. So how many years that they share the similarity? Okay, so despite the month, why? The month is actually comes from the same year, isn't it? So what we share here is only on the 2018, one same year. All right, so you have to take the subject, okay, times the time, okay, then you would know how many synthesis you can make. Yeah, all right, so how many time in a relationship? So 1 year, one subject, two subjects, three subjects. Okay, is it a month or year? So as I mentioned to you, the month is according to a year, and the year was given to you in one whole year, 1 year. So ladies and gentlemen, we have to make 3 synthesis. It's enough. Okay, 3 synthesis, because the subject is there are 3 subjects, okay, times 1 year, 2018. So 3 synthesis. Okay. Alright, candidates, it's actually not difficult to score in analysis writing if you understand what the examiner wants you to write. Yeah. So first of all, I want you to make sure that your analysis, okay, has a complete title, intro, overview, and conclusion. So that is the first thing. Because why? If you have any mistakes in any of these, okay, you will drop to band 4 for task fulfillment. Yeah. Okay. You must have enough analysis and synthesis in every line. So as possible, whatever sentences that you make, right, it contains analysis and synthesis. All right. No inaccuracy, no distortion, no repetition. No inaccuracy means subject, reference, everything has to be correct. Title, information given, data, all has to be correct. Yeah. Distortion, make sure that you do not confuse the examiners by writing things that like what I said just now, the lowest cases, the highest cases. That is a distortion. Yeah. No repetition means as possible you have mentioned the key features, right? Like for example, you talk about tulips. Okay, make sure that you talk about tulips throughout. You finish about tulips first before you move on to rose or begonia. That will kind of like help you to make sure that the information are not repetitive. Yeah, and you must mention at least 2 features from the second visual. Okay, meaning to say, the key features from the table 1 are the measures. So you have to at least mention 2 at least. Okay, your sentence structure is the language part. As possible, must have variety of sentence structure. Language appropriate and varied. Try to demonstrate the language that you know by using appropriate trend word. Yeah, okay, the trend word that we have learned together. If it is not a trend word, don't use. Okay, if you are being suspicious that, hey, is this accepted or not, okay, don't use. Use the one that you know, you are confident with. Demonstrate how you know varieties of trend word. That is how you earn marks for vocabulary. Effective linkage, make sure that you link your idea well. Sentence connector, cohesive devices are all appropriate. And then your paragraph should show unity and reasonable planning. Okay, so what is your target? Okay, candidate, of course we will target for band 5 if possible. Make sure there's no inaccuracy in your task fulfillment and your language, everything is correct. If there's no mistake, flawless, you are a band 6. Okay, band 6 is in your hand. Actually, it's not difficult. And just make sure that you have everything it takes. All right, we are aiming for a higher band, of course. So people, take note, and I hope you can write better. Please continue to join me for the coming lesson. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, class, I would like to discuss on a different question, a similar questions to the questions that we have discussed for the food poisoning, but there are several things that you have to take note, which it might affect your marks. Okay, take a look at this question on the number of visitors to 3 zoos from 2011 to 2015 and the promotional activity carried out to attract visitors in 2015. So in this question, one thing that you have to highlight is definitely on, okay, the number of visitors. Okay, the number of visitors. So here, number of visitors would be the subject reference for table figure number 1. Okay, the subject reference. Whereas for table 1, the promotional activities carried out, promotional activities carried out will be the subject reference. So, okay. Now, another thing that I need you to take note is the year. For figure 1, they tell you a period of 2011 to 2015. 2. So, it means we have information from 2011, 2012, 2013, 14, and then only 2015. Okay, so if the figure 1 has the information for the other years, okay, which was not mentioned in the table only gives you information for 2015. So what you do is, ladies and gentlemen, you can only link the same year to the table. So whatever comes before that year, you cannot link to the table. But you can still analyze the key feature from 2011 to 2014 using moving trend. What is moving trend? Moving trend is increased, decreased, fluctuated, or remain unchanged. So these are the moving trend. Okay, so for instance, if you want to talk about the trend for Animal Town, you can mention 2011, 12, 13, 14, but when it comes to 2015, okay, you might want to stop before you link to the table 1, because you cannot say that, oh, the decrease in the number of these was because of the activities. So cannot. So talk about 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, but stop when you want to say 2015. Okay, so you can look at 2015. Okay, you can look at 2015 information later. Because why? You can actually link what happened in 2015 to the table. Alright? Okay, so that is how you read, how you identify what to include in. And please take note, we also need to analyze what is it in table 1. So apparently all the Animal Town has 3 activities, right? So now when they have 3 activities for each of the town, we cannot do a comparison like the most or the least, because there are 3, nothing different between them. The only difference would be they have different promotional activities. Okay, so that is what we can think of. Okay, but other than that, if you were to talk about the number of activities, okay, they have the same number of activities. So later on, when you want to link the information, okay, you might want to talk about how the number of visitors to 3 zoos in 2015, be specific, only 2015, yeah, for overview, was due to the promotional activity carried out. So if you want to make it more specific, you could say that was due to the different promotional activities carried out by the zoo in 2015. You can say it that way. Okay, but in terms of synthesis that you make later, you can just simply link the lowest. Okay, this one is the lowest, right? Okay, this one is the highest, and this one is the second highest to the promotional activities. Okay, see that? All right. Okay, let's take a look at the example of overview sample that we can make here. And because that I have mentioned to you just now, whatever comes in the figure 1, okay, because of the year, we can only relate what happened in 2015 to what happened with the promotional activities. So that is the only link that we can do. So people, you can actually talk about generally the number of visitors to 3 zoos. Okay, mention the year because there is only one year is related to the promotional activities. So I state the year here was affected by, so the linking word, different promotional activities carried out by the zoo in 2015. Okay, why do I say different promotional activities? Because they have the same number of activities, but they are different. That's the best explanation. Yeah. Another example, I would like to put the subject as different promotional activities. Overall, different promotional activities carried out by the zoos in 2015 affected the linking word, the number of visitors to 3 zoos in 2015. Okay, people. Now, the word affected and was affected and affected. If you are not sure, you can use the word corresponded. Okay, corresponded to, or correlated with. So both of these will help solve your problem if you you're not really clear which one affect which one. So these both words, both phrases can be used there. And now I would also like to show you some example of sentences that we can make in our writing. Take a look at this one. In 2011, the number of visitors in Nature's Path was the lowest, 300,000, and increased to the highest, 590,000 in 2015, as there were 3 promotional activities such as live animal performances, free rides around the zoo, and weekend with celebrities. So ladies and gentlemen, this answer consists of a time frame, okay, a subject reference, we have key feature, we have a trend word, okay, another trend word increase, the highest another trend word, and we have data, not to forget the data, and lastly time frame. And then the word S is the linking word, alright, and then 3 promotional activities such as, and these activities are being mentioned. Right, in this sentence, although it might look like you are scoring for the analysis and you hit the synthesis correctly, but please take note. There are mistakes in the sentence. The first mistake is when you analyze the moving trend, okay, the movement trend, increase, okay, the word increase here, okay, you are actually making an assumption that whatever happens between 2011 to 2015 was because of the promotional activity, because you use the word as link. So when you do that, that is considered as inaccurate. Because I have told you earlier, whatever happened from 2011 to 2014 has nothing to do with the promotional activity. So if you link it this way, you are making assumption, yeah? So take note. Such as, the word such as are not supposed to be used. I have mentioned to you earlier as well, because they indicate assumption. So you have to use namely lah. And the word, and do not use bracket as well as the inverted comma together. So you are going to make mistakes if you do that. Take note. Alright. Here's another example. In 2011, the number of visitors in Animal Town was the highest, 350,000, and decreased to the lowest, 180,000 in 2015. So this indicates a movement trend, movement trend of decrease, right? It decreased from this 2011 to 2015. Okay, this one is accepted. Why? Because it is accepted because you do not link to the table. When you do not link to table 1, you can talk about the movement trend. Okay? So you can score for the highest, decrease, and the lowest. Right? 3 analysis, 3A. Next. In 2011, the number of visitors in Animal Town was the highest, 350,000, and decreased to 200,000 in 2014. Full stop. The highest, decrease. Okay. The lowest number of visitors, this is a trend word here, 180,000, was in 2015. Okay. Due to, so the linking word, 3 promotional activity done, namely discount for senior citizens, special activities every month, and 3 sessions with chimpanzees. So the answer for this one is correct, because you only link idea from the same time frame. So see, the movement trend decrease is only up to 2014, and the information for 2015, it started with a different sentence. Okay, it's not related to the decrease, so this one we accept. Okay, everyone, we have 1 analysis for the highest, 1 for the lowest, 1 for decreased, due to the linking word, namely is correct used. So you can actually use the word namely to present reason, activities, measure, event, or causes. So because of this is the correct answer. And of course, this is of a high quality of a synthesis that you made, Alright. I hope you understand what the lesson is all about. And thank you. Good luck in your exam.